If you've clicked on this video, then you've most likely seen the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies such as Ethereum surging in value since the beginning of 2023. I've personally seen my crypto portfolios gain over $2,500 in value over the past 7 days alone due to the recent surge that we've experienced just by holding the assets. Let me actually open up my crypto wallet here. And by the way, if you don't have an account for a crypto exchange and you're looking to get some free crypto, make sure to check out Newton in Canada. There's a link down below in the video's description, as this is the platform that I use to buy and sell crypto. Inside my wallet here, we can clearly see that the value of the assets has increased quite a bit over the past month, but even more so year to date, up over 120%. Now, even considering the fact that Bitcoin's up quite a bit right now, I'm not looking to cash in just yet for reasons that we'll be discussing in today's video. So if you've been following the channel for a while, then you know that I used to actually have an Ethereum mining rig made up of GPUs, where over the course of several years I mined Ethereum in my basement, and I actually made a pretty good return on investment. During that time though, I did take some profit on a number of occasions when Ethereum was surging in value, such as at the peak of 2021, as we can see from these transactions in my wallet. And for the record, that was mostly just luck, I'll admit, in terms of the timing to sell at the top of the market there. But fast forward to today, and I'm still holding onto a relatively small amount of ETH and Bitcoin that I don't really plan on selling for the foreseeable future, as we continue to move towards the Bitcoin halving in 2024. In fact, at the time of filming this video, Bitcoin's up over 100% year to date, which for the record happens to be more than 5 times the return provided by the S&P 500. Granted, yes, Bitcoin and crypto as a whole are seen as much riskier assets than an S&P 500 ETF. And of course, no one can 100% accurately predict where any market is heading. That's certainly not what I'm alluding to, but I say this in parallel to a video that I did make back in February of 2023 titled How to Get Rich in the 2023 Recession. Yes, I know, a very flashy title, but that was when Bitcoin was trading significantly lower than it is today. And I had laid out a blueprint in that video that reflected potential Bitcoin behavior moving closer and closer to the Bitcoin halving of 2024. So the question now is whether or not buying into this current bull run makes any sense for you. Well, let's first break down 2 things here. First and foremost, what the heck is the Bitcoin halving of 2024? And number 2, what to consider if you don't have any Bitcoin right now, or if you do have a current portfolio with some Bitcoin in it, as well as some cash. So starting off with what the Bitcoin halving even is, this is an event in the Bitcoin world that occurs approximately every 4 years. And it's a programmed reduction in the reward that miners receive for validating and adding new transaction to the Bitcoin blockchain. And if that's complicated to you, just know that this means the halving cuts the reward in half, hence the name. And by the way, this process is hard-coded directly into the Bitcoin protocol to control the total supply of Bitcoin, limiting it to 21 million coins ever to be mined, where there are currently 19.5 million in circulation right now. Now, these halving events play a crucial role in maintaining scarcity and preventing inflation in the long run for Bitcoin. In contrast to, say, these central banks that can essentially print as much money as they want and have, thus devaluing the dollar. And as the reward for mining decreases, it has historically led to increased demand and consequently upwards pressure on the price of Bitcoin. Now, I do want to note that the Bitcoin halving doesn't inherently have an impact on the price of Bitcoin, but historically has shown that each halving event has had a monumental impact on the price of Bitcoin in the waters of 500 to 2000% increases. In fact, as illustrated in this chart, 3 noteworthy Bitcoin halving events have occurred to date in 2012, 2016, and in 2020, where each of these events has been accompanied by diverse returns in the 12 months leading up to and the 12 months following the respecting halving occurrence. In 2012, we witnessed a remarkable surge of 416% in the 12 months leading up to the halving, followed by an astonishing 7,700% increase in the subsequent 12 months. However, it is crucial to acknowledge that Bitcoin in 2012 was definitely an entirely different landscape compared to today, and it did have minimal adoption and lacked widespread recognition as an asset. So drawing parallels between the inaugural halving event and the upcoming one in 2024 is somewhat akin to comparing apples to oranges, considering the dynamic evolution and broader acceptance of Bitcoin today as an asset class. Fast forward to 2016, there was also a notable uptick in the 110% increase range in the 12 months leading up to the halving, succeeded by a substantial 283% rise in the subsequent year, and an additional 672% surge reaching the peak in 2018, where this period marked a pivotal shift for Bitcoin, really transitioning into mainstream recognition as investors and institutions started to seriously explore it as a viable investment class. And then finally in 2020, marking the third halving, we observed a 76% surge in the 12 months leading up to the event, succeeded by an impressive still 423% increase in the year following the halving. And this pattern suggests a relatively consistent trend. Excluding the outlier being 2012, pre-halving returns tend to diminish by approximately 25% with each subsequent halving, while post-halving returns show a reduction of 100% per halving. But honestly, two data points here are extremely little to go off of anyways, and things could play out very differently in early 2024. In fact, there are still roughly 6 months leading up to the 2024 Bitcoin halving, and year to date, as we just looked over, Bitcoin's already up over 100%. So it's entirely possible that the hype leading up to and around this event has already led to investor speculation, thus driving up the price. And as of right now, we are less than half a year away from the next Bitcoin halving, which absolutely plays a role in the market's current and future movements. All right, now based on what we just covered, it probably seems like buying even right now up 100% year to date could very well be a good move in the bigger picture and over the next year and so on, as Bitcoin has historically always surged well past previous highs in and around the halving event. And so although that's my view of things and why I'm holding on to the assets I have rather than selling, it still needs to be considered that there is always going to be a level of risk associated with any investment. And if buying into the market for the first time right now, accepting that there will be some upwards and downwards variation in the short term is necessary. That being said, regardless of current market movements, I've maintained the same long-term view of Bitcoin that I have had over the past couple of years, being that its built-in scarcity has and will maintain demand for it moving forward, which is reflected over into its price in the market. By the way, if you want to learn a bit more about why I do believe in Bitcoin, I'd highly recommend you read this book right here called The Bitcoin Standard. I'm not associated with the author by any means, but if you're new to the world of Bitcoin and why many do believe it does hold value, this offers a good explanation of everything you need to know. So with all that said, what is my plan? Well, it hasn't changed. I've been dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin for the past year and a half in multiple different wallets and accounts. And whether or not we see a dip in the short term, I'll just buy more because I'm confident in Bitcoin as a store of value that should be worth significantly more than it does right now. And considering everything we've just covered, you're probably wondering what's the best platform to buy and sell crypto in Canada. And lucky for you, I've made a video covering and comparing head to head the top 5 most popular crypto platforms available in Canada. And I'd highly encourage you to check that out if you're interested. But if you want to save some time, the best platform for low fees and the one I use most regularly is called Newton. It's super simple and intuitive to use. They have dozens of cryptocurrencies available to trade. And if you sign up using the link down below in this video's description, you'll get $25 for free when you trade over $100 on the platform. So it's truly a win-win. With that said, make sure to let me know down in this video's description what your thoughts are on the current Bitcoin bull run, whether or not you're currently buying, holding off, waiting. What is your plan moving into 2024 and the halving event? I'd love to know. Thanks a lot for watching, tuning in today's video. I'll see you in the next one.